In this video, you'll hear stories of people and events that were never meant to be revealed to the public, yet somehow they were. Here are 10 fascinating facts about spies. Let's begin with a mysterious and puzzling phenomenon known as the Moscow Signal. During the Cold War, from 1953 to 1976, the U.S. Embassy in Moscow was repeatedly exposed to a microwave signal ranging from 2.5 to 4 GHz. The signal came from a building just 100 meters away. To this day, it remains unclear what the purpose of the signal was or why it was consistently aimed at the embassy. One theory suggests the Soviets were attempting to eavesdrop using advanced methods unknown to Americans, even though these frequencies weren't typically used for surveillance. Another theory posits that the signal was meant to influence the health or behavior of American staff. However, the radiation levels were too low to heat anything or cause immediate harm. A third possibility is that the signal was used to jam U.S. electronic transmissions. Still, embassy equipment remained unaffected. Despite its unclear purpose, the signal concerned U.S. authorities. A partial shielding system was later installed, and the U.S. issued multiple protests to the Soviets, all of which were ignored. In response, the U.S. even conducted tests on 8 volunteers to study the effects of similar radiation. The results showed no immediate health risks. Yet, a 2019 Spanish study found that staff who worked in the Moscow embassy during those years had higher rates of cancer compared to those stationed elsewhere in Europe. Interestingly, U.S. officials kept the existence of the signal secret from their own embassy staff for years, citing security reasons and the need to avoid panic. In the mid-1970s, the diplomats were finally informed, and the embassy moved to a new building, which had its own problems. The new embassy was constructed by Soviet workers, and upon inspection, numerous hidden listening devices were discovered. Entire floors had to be rebuilt by American personnel. To this day, the true purpose of the Moscow signal remains unknown. Throughout the Cold War, both the U.S. and the Soviet Union relied heavily on covert surveillance, especially in embassies. One of the most remarkable cases involved a Soviet bug hidden inside a wooden plaque. On August 4, 1945, Soviet pioneers presented a carved plaque of the Great Seal of the United States to U.S. Ambassador Averell Harriman. The plaque hung in his office for 6 years. In 1951, a British radio operator accidentally picked up embassy conversations, revealing the presence of a bug. What made this device so unique was its lack of a power source. It only activated when exposed to a specific radio frequency. American experts were baffled by the technology. A replica of the bug is now displayed in a U.S. museum. Another unsolved mystery involves a bizarre shortwave radio station in Russia that has been broadcasting since the 1970s. The station can be heard worldwide in the AM band, and even online. Most of the time, it plays a strange buzzing noise. Occasionally, the buzzing stops, and cryptic voice transmissions are broadcast using Russian phonetic names. These messages are encoded, and listeners cannot decipher them without a key. Over the years, radio enthusiasts have captured odd transmissions, including voices and even a woman screaming. Some believe the station is used for military communication or to relay messages to spies. Others propose a darker theory, that it's part of Russia's nuclear deterrence system. In this scenario, if the broadcast ever stops, it would indicate the transmitter has been destroyed, triggering an automatic nuclear response. When thinking of spies, one might imagine agents gathering intelligence abroad. But one man took it further by infiltrating a Nazi concentration camp. Witold Pilecki, a Polish officer, voluntarily allowed himself to be captured by the Nazis in 1940. Using forged documents, he entered Auschwitz, where he organized resistance and smuggled information to the outside world. He even managed to build a hidden radio transmitter to report on camp conditions and prisoner numbers. After nearly 3 years, he escaped with 2 comrades by overpowering guards during a bakery shift. He returned to the Polish resistance and continued fighting until the end of the war. When Poland fell under Soviet control, he was arrested by the NKVD and charged with crimes like document forgery and illegal border crossing. In reality, the Soviets saw him as a threat due to his anti-communist stance. He was executed, but today he's remembered as a hero in Poland. Many Russian speakers are familiar with the phrase, "the last Chinese warning," used to describe threats that have no real consequences. The phrase originated during the 1950s and 1960s when China frequently warned the U.S. about violating its airspace. The U.S. didn't recognize Communist China and supported Taiwan's government. American reconnaissance planes often flew close to the Chinese mainland. In response, China issued countless warnings, over 900 by 1964, but never took action. The phrase became a symbol of empty threats and remains part of the Russian lexicon today. During World War II, German spies infiltrated the USSR with near-perfect credentials and fluent Russian. But one detail gave them away: the paper clips. German agents used stainless steel clips, while Soviet ones rusted quickly. The lack of rust marks exposed the spies, leading to dozens of arrests. Among the most effective spy tactics is known as the honey trap. Many intelligence agencies trained attractive women to seduce foreign officials to extract information or create blackmail material. Hidden cameras captured intimate moments, which could later be used for coercion. Some officials willingly revealed classified information to their lovers, not suspecting they were spies. The KGB was notorious for using this method. One case involved British MP Anthony Courtney, who was compromised during a visit to Moscow in 1964. He was seduced by a woman named Zina, secretly photographed, and later blackmailed when he spoke out against the USSR. When he refused to stop, the photos were released, ending his political career. Another case involved a French military attaché who took his own life after being confronted with similar evidence. Perhaps the most famous honey trap in history is Mata Hari. Born Margaretha Zell in the Netherlands in 1876, she married young and moved to Indonesia, where she learned local dance and culture. After her abusive marriage ended, she returned to Europe and began performing exotic dances in Paris. Her shows were considered provocative at the time, and she soon became a celebrated courtesan. With World War I underway, she allegedly began working for German intelligence. Later, she also accepted missions from the French, effectively becoming a double agent. Eventually, a German message intercepted by the French led to her arrest in 1917. She was accused of espionage and blamed for the deaths of 50,000 soldiers. Despite ongoing debate about her true allegiances, she was executed the same year. Why do some people spy against their own countries? Surprisingly, ideology can play a major role. One such case is Melita Norwood, a British secretary who passed nuclear secrets to the Soviets for 40 years. Born in 1912, she was drawn to socialism and joined the British Communist Party. A KGB agent later recruited her. She copied classified documents from the British atomic program and delivered them every few months. Historians believe her leaks helped the USSR develop its first nuclear bomb years ahead of schedule. She never accepted payment and retired quietly. Her secret life remained unknown until 1995, when former KGB archivist Vasily Mitrokhin defected to the UK. Documents revealed Norwood's identity, but due to her age and the passage of time, authorities chose not to prosecute. She explained that she feared a world where only the West had nuclear power and wanted to help the Soviet Union as a counterbalance. Her grandchildren were shocked to learn their grandmother had been a Soviet spy. In 1983, the world narrowly avoided nuclear war, thanks to one double agent. During NATO's massive military exercises in Europe, the USSR believed the drills were cover for a real attack. Soviet forces went on high alert, loaded nuclear weapons, and prepared for a possible first strike. The panic escalated until Oleg Gordievsky, a KGB colonel secretly working for British intelligence, stepped in. He alerted the West to the seriousness of the Soviet reaction. At the same time, he tried to reassure Soviet leaders that NATO's drills were not a prelude to war. His message reached U.S. President Ronald Reagan, who immediately ordered the exercises to stop. Reagan later said he was shocked the Soviets truly believed the West might strike first. Gordievsky's actions may have saved the world from nuclear disaster. He was eventually exposed, but escaped, and now lives in the U.S., where he's seen as a hero. In Russia, however, he is considered a traitor. Thanks for watching this video until the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope to see you again soon.